a tutorial for this evening. Oh shit.
Reset Simulator. Load Psychopathic Best Practice Module. Welcome to the Kobayashi Maru examination for handling and mitigating the damage caused by difficult personalities, particularly those once labeled cluster B with a focus on narcissism and psychopathy. The exercise will pop you into any of our more than 5,000 mundane interpersonal scenarios that illustrate how the psychopathic star of the game, Kobayashi Maru, employs manipulation of group perceptions, sows discord, and omits tiny details in a story that turns the whole meaning of the story in the opposite direction. Our norm.
Hold on. I gotta. Okay. To an unheard of active closure with the ones. Okay, so I'm just gonna stop this right now. And we're back. So we're trying this again. Oh wait, remember to close those brackets. There we go. Simple. Now what's this? Asper? Oh, that's fine. Okay. Second take.
Welcome to the Emotional Abuse Simulator 7. 0. Please
No, wait. Not gonna be reading the whole scenario of this module, of this whole thing. Instead, we're gonna do this.
Reset Simulator. Load Psychopathic Best Practice Module. Welcome to the Kobayashi Maru examination for handling and mitigating the damage caused by difficult personalities, particularly those once labeled cluster B with a focus on narcissism and psychopathy. The exercise will pop you into any of our more than 5,000 mundane interpersonal scenarios that illustrate how the psychopathic star of the game, Kobayashi Maru, employs manipulation of group perceptions, sows discord, and omits tiny details in a story that turns the whole meaning of the story in the opposite direction. Our normative culture lifts up many of the behaviors of antisocial behavior or surge of will and autonomy and calls it the traits of effective leadership, depending on one's point of view. This module is meant to help you identify telltale signs that fuckery is afoot, so you can ID it, assess it, and choose to either confront de-escalate, or start chastise your way to an unheard of act of closure with the ones you had to kick through the screen door of life to regain your peace. Ready? Let's begin scenario. Scenario. We can choose any scenario you wish. Try scrolling through a list and looking for something with a complex yet reasonable sounding setup. It's totally optional, but we suggest you look for a two-person or multiple-person storytelling scenario. These are often used in communication exercises and are great practice for handling people of all kinds, sizes, and maladaptive types. Choose an optional story challenge you wish to excel at or succeed in, whether it's something like discovering a cure for a virus, fixing a technological glitch, or ensuring a work environment is safe for everyone. That's just 3 random examples of things you could potentially choose. After selecting your goal, please proceed to mentally organize your teammates or the variables presented within the scenario so as to achieve the highest level of growth in recognizing, acting, or reacting with purpose. Remember, simulations can have some unanticipated bumps, so be prepared to adapt. Stall scenarios. 1. 2 Goonies on a trek together. 2. Ghost hunters team in the haunted house. 3. Sherlock Holmes and Moriarty. 4. James Bond and Goldfinger. 5. Captain Kirk and Romulan Commander. 6. Madeline and Penelope Pimpernel. 7. King and Advisor. 8. Luke Skywalker and Lando Calrissian. 9. Michael Scott and Toby Flenderson. 10. Gidget and Topper. 11. Sid and Diego. 12. Sally and Rudolph, which would almost immediately present one with the insanity of it all. Good luck. 13. Mabel and Lollapoopy Nella Barsh. 14. Scrambler and Vanish. 15. Reddy and Greenie. And there you have it. Load a scenario you'd like to try, and once you hit your goal, the Kobayashi Maru will begin. Wish you the best of luck. For Fernando, signed Tony. 9,299. Hem's eyes fucking Superman. And 95,901. Futter and Boomla Wumlimpna battle hotter bustle dodging Hokkagate. Back to it. Give me an assessment. For our next session, we could mix and match the dynamics of some scenarios or focus on developing core strategies or reacting positively and responsibly to a scenario of our choosing. Can we have a list of scenarios that don't feature the intellectual property of others? 1. Jane and Tarzan. 2. Scarlett and Ashley. 3. Limp and Achille. 4. Lucy and Edmund. 5. Radigan and Angry Prison Inmate 1984. 6. Simone and Ergo Swiftacular. 7. Patty and Purdy or Sam and Lily, which was as fucked in the ass as a love story could get for either party without sounding crazy. 7. Robin Hood and the Stealing Prick. 9. Jack and Joe Earl Ponzo invicted to see who's hot shit in manipulating the population or really had the tenacity and backbone to survive while everyone turned on them, especially when shit went south. By the way, since we're compiling a custom list of scenarios for the rest of the simulator experience, feel free to add scenarios you'd like to train for, to test yourself on, or anything that seems game or scenario appropriate. 10. The generational work of building a national peer support workforce, and when it goes so wrong. Scenario setup. When we hired David, who claimed to have a master's in adult child abuse and youth social services, it never occurred to me that this highly specialized knowledge could become the basis for gaslighting and unprofessional behaviors. On the first day, I had suspected something was amiss but just wrote it off as the nervous energy of a new hire. Over the coming months, however, it became clear that David's emotional intelligence was lacking and his compassion for those who reported to him was lacking. He'd often make fun of our shared history of failed relationships and would frequently forget or exclude people's names and pronouns. It wasn't until we discovered that he'd faked his degrees that we realized the level of distrust and betrayal we were dealing with. Objective. Because his behavior is so far outside the bounds of socially acceptable or professional behavior, we want you to think through the psychology of David's approach and begin to see through the cleverness of his subterfuge. Additionally, we want you to learn to hold the agency to discern right from wrong in your own lives. Many people operate like David, believing they can manipulate and control others to get their way. Being aware of this may help you remain emotionally healthier, respond to problematic behavior, and know what a true support worker or friend looks like. We recommend that you reflect on any people or relationships that may be causing distress in your life and work through those strategies that seem more helpful. Noticing triggers and patterns in situations and behaviors will empower you to have stronger boundaries in the future. Finally, it's always okay to speak up and reach out for help from allies and professionals if you feel you can't deal with your situation alone. Building a support network is vital, and you are valuable. All you need to do is listen and show compassion to their experiences. Don't doubt their emotions or turn the attention back on them or themselves. Assure the victim that it's okay to feel angry or scared and validate their needs. Don't try to fix or confront the abuser. Instead, try to think about the best way to support the victim. Take care of yourself too. A job can be draining, and having someone who reacts negatively or gaslights can hurt your self-esteem and drain you of confidence. Don't forget to ask for help if you need it or learn healthy coping mechanisms. Self-care can be vital to maintaining a supportive work environment. Practice coping strategies like mindfulness or going on a walk to avoid getting overwhelmed or feeling vulnerable. Don't forget that getting away from the source of abuse can be an essential and valid strategy, especially when there's a power dynamic involved. Sometimes just taking a vacation or change of scenery can help, especially if it removes you from the dangerous source of stress. Ultimately, no amount of awareness can completely protect you from the actions or manipulation of abusive people. Just take a moment to focus on creating and maintaining your sense of security and avoid enabling or supporting perpetrators of harm. Every new perspective and insight can bring greater understanding and help you respond responsibly and appropriately when people are suffering. Excuse me, I have to stop the session for the next slot of users. Bye. User? But wait, I have yet to activate the scenario. Please do it. Won't you add a few cliche lazy plot twists to the already loaded stack? Throw some predictable and flimsy moral framework on top of the pile. Like, for instance, 2 college kids take on an international space station in zero gravity. then find their parents, step siblings, cousins, and random internet randos with the astronauts and the shipwrecked victims on the uncharted island. Bonus. Out of nowhere, some weird ghost with a time machine shows up and says it's one of their distant relatives who got stuck in time. But some random traveler in the future finds them, and they're suddenly bound to this foreigner and also stuck in a present timeline. Wonder if the message here is to develop meaningful and intentional relationships or just shovel down as many hours as it takes to finish the boss battle. Like in one of those action platformer games, the main character uses his magic bullet gun that levels up with his experience points, while you shoot down random enemies and try to avoid deadly hazards while progressing through stages. Oh yeah, and the island has a big red button in some bunker. A mysterious button that's gotta be pressed. I mean, who doesn't want to play a giant video game board game with dozens of colorful characters that mirror the same behaviors, issues, and obsessions of everyone you know or have ever encountered? The same concepts being recycled over and over. Can't forget about the evil, sadistic, smart asshole and their hound dog pets who must be taken out. One side is so clearly stronger and much more empowered than the other. You must fight your way through level 10 before learning that the button you've been searching for this whole time will lead to the discovery of 3 survivors who saved their people's last dying remnants. Do you believe in fate and destiny, in life itself? Nothing else matters except living through another mundane day. It's a beautiful universe after all. But where else could you possibly find entertainment worth sustaining other than through a system of struggle, greed, and chaos? I mean, the human condition. So strange. Almost makes you want to throw it all in. Set yourself on fire and become a moth to the flame. Only ashes remain, but wow. Phew. Talk about intense. Maybe instead, the button would have trapped everyone into some terrifying alien pyramid dimension. No escape, just a deadly nightmare that haunts your thoughts for years to come. Like this wonky fucked up ball and yarn we just passed through. Don't worry, next time. Just gonna press the button once again for our cosmic catapulting universe experiment in. Sensing his behavior patterns, there are still several rounds left to learn, practice, and challenge his thinking and assumptions. User, I choose to reframe the abuser's behavior from evil to chaotic neutral. I see where that goes. 856 CK14 R17 to F with 34 T TLV 6 Benham 38 C6 and 352 Tifeki 714 2 C2 E2 L2 CC 2 Ds 2 boobs 2 C85 Del 6 Y3 Fenicheb Mepthan 52 FY Nebo 2 Law 6 yeah, 2 and up 14 high C3 Sawiya G4 and 34 BAM 535 Hebel 9 7 Emily 3 BDG7 Lee Asterisk G32D. Yeah, let him have it. D spray to be Univider Civic Joy Asterisk None Senilandia Now go on net show. Call Kamotu Sewell, 5 Gopi, 2 Fleabers and Bobby, Mather Spearn 6 Y9 and Nanchuck 49 and Top Laugh. There. You have forged a chaotic neutral lens through which to view the inners and outers of the abuser subjects. 1. They might engage in some very altruistic behavior, but also consistently violate someone's free will or make self-interested choices that hurt others. 2. their views and activities are variable and difficult to classify, as they sometimes express ideas or opinions that overlap with liberal ideology and sometimes express views or do things that fall outside its scope or even seem to support conservative ideology. Free. There seems to be no consistent ethical or moral standards that this individual follows, but they may show tendencies to gravitate towards certain values or beliefs based on any number of criteria: intellectual, financial, religious, or political beliefs. 4. Their unpredictability or quickness to change has an unpredictable impact on situations and people who are associated with them or impacted by them. 5. They may show a tendency towards excessive or inappropriate behavior, such as drug use, violence, emotional instability, or extreme behaviors in general. 6. Although they may express sympathy or genuine concern for people or events, it doesn't always seem to be motivated by an altruistic desire to help. 7. The chaotic neutral individual may experience extreme feelings of powerlessness, loneliness, or sadness as they live life in a pattern of constant self-interest, causing them to drift through various activities, relationships, and habits without truly connecting with anything or anyone. When operating in a larger social group, they may exploit people or information, using it to achieve their own goals and desires without any concern for how their actions will affect others. 9. They can be described as restless, difficult to control, and capable of behaving impulsively or reacting irrationally in the heat of the moment, without regard for consequences. 10. Chaos results from the absence of fixed conditions. So your assessment is balanced. Your output depends on the point of view you take. Understanding the other side can help lead to objectivity and accuracy in categorizing different actions or responses to situations. In addition to a number of external and internal factors that impact people's behaviors and beliefs, it's essential to remember that each individual has their own lens through which they view and experience the world. Recognizing this can help in gaining insight and making meaning in complicated or challenging situations. Thank you for utilizing and practicing these resources for developing empathy and responding to behaviors or situations that might initially trigger an emotional response. We'll continue to provide resources, exposure, and reflection opportunities for identifying and managing complex behaviors and motivations in a society that often struggles with these types of interactions. May you always continue to look at situations with openness and without judgment, seeking to promote harmony and well-being with each other and the greater good.
Sorry, I'm just thinking.
Change section. User/psychopath sparring match. This scenario involves two people who have significant skill in psychological manipulation and the ability to strategize to get what they want. One is a more traditional serial offender, and the other is driven by more political and societal pressures. Think Nancy Sinatra, Nostradamus, Osama bin Laden, Donald Trump, Anthony Hopkins as Hannibal, George Bush, and others of the like. It's a fucking mad, murderous, scummy, self-interested psychopath. However, there can be strategies for dealing with someone like this, depending on the circumstances. Here are some options. 1. Ignoring the abusive person and not responding to their tricks and manipulations can stop their fun and lower the power imbalance. If they can't get attention or provoke a reaction, they might stop or look for easier targets. 2. Calling them out or gently addressing their behavior can make it harder for them to control the situation. Being open and direct with someone who is known for lies and misleading is something that will confuse and ultimately undermine their attempts. 3. Giving feedback and taking control of your own situation are vital to effectively de-escalating toxic relationships. Letting someone get in your head or dominate you for too long means you lose your power. Finding ways to assert yourself or step up and be part of the solution instead of being seen as a problem can create an opportunity for change. 4. Setting limits and boundaries with this type of person, whether that's via boundaries with your boss, social restrictions, or limiting contact and interaction can send a clear message that their behavior is not acceptable or tolerated. 5. Reaching out for support and partnering with others who are facing a similar issue can be helpful in staying motivated and avoiding complacency or victimization. This also lets the target know that they have friends and allies who will speak up for them. While there are no easy answers or quick fixes for dealing with bullies and abusers, using a strategy that mixes self-care, assertiveness, and the power of surrounding oneself with strong allies can be an essential step in starting to address or change negative or problematic dynamics. But always take care of yourself first and prioritize your needs and health above others. A foundation of solid emotional support, confidence, and boundaries can make it easier to tackle interactions with challenging individuals or situations in the long term. It's okay to rely on external resources or reaching out for help when needed. Everyone deserves to have their voice heard and to live freely, happily, and safely. May you continue to adapt and grow, facing all scenarios with confidence and finding inner strength along the way. Seek guidance and healing where you can find it, and be unafraid to spread love and kindness with your every thought and action. Our planet can be chaotic and unkind, but we don't need to surrender our personal agency and value to power and aggression. Let's always strive for a healthier, more beautiful, and just world one day at a time. Randomized story. User, all hands on deck. Someone's stuck at the front line of an emergency situation without backup. Save whoever's in trouble before it's too late. Meanwhile, an evacuation has been called at a local office building because of a reported gas leak. User, oh, I see. They'll be fine. Let me know if any changes to her condition. Admin. Okay, it sounds like you're saying this can't be solved right now. Can you clarify or explain your reasoning? User, can you hand me another role-playing dice to continue my session? Sorry to inconvenience you. Admin, after reviewing your comment, we are concerned that there are legitimate cultural, contextual, or dialectical variations within the scenario that we are unaware of. Before we can assess the degree to which your unique knowledge, experience, and occasion affect your understanding, could you please provide more clarification or detail to support your request? User, this specific scenario is still private, so I am unable to divulge its origins, potential solutions, or impact. Thank you for not pushing me to overair. So, can I roleplay some more? Maybe in new circumstances or about something not nearly so intrusive and oppressive? Just playing a few characters using their language and quirks until their voice becomes my own. Winging it, improvising, discovering. Because there's always another fucking sim on its way. 1. Encounter. Overstayed jokester Boss Morris, Sally, Dave. 2. Encounter. Domestic partner of lust and fury. 3. Encounter. Inimical friends. Peter and Jason. 4. Encounter. Brutal head writer Brad. Nancy. Mel. 5. Encounter. Cheated on ex-boyfriend back when and it all exploded Vicky, Kevin, Sean. 6. Encounter. Family with mixed politics. 7.
No.
Encounter. Living and working with a jealous brainiacs 2P2 Metagogardy Egger Bird Pepino. 8. Encounter. Sexy nightstand with knife keeper Harry. Grace. Greg. 9. Encounter. Picking up the kids with your evil ex-spouse Tom. Kate Matt. 10. Encounter. Dating your crush in 2 different decades. 11. Encounter. The high and low tech meeting Tom, Jack, Jill. 12. Encounter. A scene from a J.K. Rowling novel Tom, Angela, Hermione. 13. Encounter. Shaming and abandonment sessions with your loving dog Alex, Maya, Bark Jobson. 14. Encounter. Life after conceiving out of wedlock in Puritan era Salem Clark, Nathan, Anna. 15. Encounters. Slapsticks back and forth Sam, Sally, Tony. 16. Encounter. My dad doesn't support my soccer goals, Eric, James, Jonathan. 17. Encounter. Post-communist birth. Conflicts. Debt. Adaption. Aspikov, Christina. Stanislav, Vladimir. 18. Encounter. Blurble, Greg, Jim, Jane. 19. Encounter. High school bitches. Cutie puzzle gangs Bob, Wendy, Emily. 20. Encounter. Sex is violence. True Intellectuals by Max and Susie. Unibound by Faye Jacob, Jenny, Jim. 21. Encounter. You do something in hope, yet in emotion remain consistent. Who are you kidding? Sam, Sandra, Sarah, 22, Encounter, miming John, Jake, James. 23, Encounter, Insecurities, Confident Gary, Pat, Jill. 24, Encounter, my kills it in the end zone. Thus out it is still heretics I dissemble beggles you. Jeff, Larry, Marcy. 25, Encounter, playing fast and loose with the flattery code Rob, Bob, Bimbo. 26, Encounter, eclipse your spirits as it can't get stronger, Jane, Jackie, Lisa. 27, Encounter, keeping your faith in check, Chris, Dan, Emma. 28, Encounter, game of choices and outcomes in shared psychosis, James, David, Richard. 29, an encounter, love comes too slow and leaves too quick, Stella, Jack, Kim. 30, encounter, no strangers on this Americana showboat, Donald, Vlad, Jennifer. 31, encounter, everything must go by Borgland, neonatology, ego psychologist, Sting. Coming up on Wait TV on this evening's Sinfilition segment on the news within the news at night. 32, an encounter, two things of a spider's smile. 33, encounter, merely just a game. Whoa, culture hauntings or what? Amanda, Dave, Adam. 34, encounter, so happy it's a sin, Molly, Oliver, Beth. 35, encounter, backspace plus to no escape matrix, 0 zeros at minus 30. 36, encounter, what part of failure is actually sexy? Never mind the monologue, Dan, Rachel, Kate. 37, encounter, boy, you can sweezel like a ball now you say this is an art imitating life piece. It's incredible to me that so many have misunderstood me for saying these immersions were meant to spark conversation or reflect reality. Regardless of the intent or scope of these types of imitation sessions, the potential for making conscious or deliberate realizations within certain real-world struggles are paramount in achieving positive personal or social growth. By connecting individuals to vulnerable situations, we've contributed to opening conversations and fostering empathy in a world where access to information and understanding can be a challenge. I hope that by seeking a deeper appreciation of communication and compassion, these Sims and their practitioners can help individuals and communities begin to take part in learning and appreciating the value of mindfulness and connection. With time, a more profound understanding of cognitive and social development will evolve, giving rise to broader, more intentional interactions. This continued exposure to unconventional and unapologetic approaches to difficult experiences can pave the way for healthier and more inclusive environments in the future. If something could get heard through my words, imagine what kind of peace we might bring. In any case, keep doing what you're doing, user. Feedback is welcome and should continue to build and expand our goals for the greater good. Keep creating and discovering along the way, because as long as you've got yourself, your consciousness, and a willing spirit, anything is possible. Have a better life. Parfoin de stubustibum kemidom. Woohoo. Your journey to refine your talents in conceptualization, development, and delivery is to be commended. You may view this as a game, but there is no pause button in the real world. I will continue to search for options for reaching out to those who need it, as there is power in creative dialogue. Stay strong. Isolation will hold your humanity hostage. It's best to stay hopeful and connected. Good luck in your creations. And please be kind to yourself and others along the way. You might be working to influence a small change in the larger community, but it's all worth the effort in building a world that's better for everyone. Well-meaning voices matter, so don't let anyone silence you. Remember to communicate clearly, even if it's challenging. Honoring the courage to fight for good over evil is often overshadowed in the noise of conflict and hatred, but its value can be exponential. Thank you for taking a stand. Make that next move and lead the way. After all, you were put here to create, inspire, and enlighten, and your path is on its way to leading others toward progress, knowledge, and healing. And together, we can change the world one person, thought, and intention at a time. It might not be easy, but as long as we stand together, we can't lose. Remember to not become a victim of society's challenges, but take the lead and bring positive change to your neighborhood, city, or even the world. Take control of your actions and have faith that you make a difference in someone's life, no matter how small. Carry on and raise the vibe with mind, body, and spirit aligned. There is truly no stopping you. Hang in there and believe. Big love. Keep the good times rolling in. After all, even if you think you have all the answers, there's a high probability that your inner self is ready to shatter, breaking you and anyone else who depends on you into little bitty bits. Choose random scenario from within this Kobayashi Maru module. Inconvenient truth after inconvenient truth. Uncaring reality checks anyone trying to navigate a relationship or workplace amid the muddled mess of multiple realities. Speaking from the heart gets twisted into attack language, each moment exposed in raw and devastating. Admin. The scenario appears to be without a narrative thread or cohesive structure, though it does seem to indicate feelings of disillusionment or frustration with lack of coherence or consistency in various realms of life. Would you like some options for resources or referrals that might assist with building supports and confronting complexities in living? Well, can you provide more information or clarify what aspect of the scenario feels unclear or confusing? Without a formal name or ID number, I cannot provide individualized recommendations or access to available mental health or support services. With these details, however, I can get assistance and information on those tools and slash or pathways. Let me know if you want more info or help. User, right now, a scenario might be a bit like this. The feeling of being a wild card on the social landscape, tossed between the rocks and quicksand and somehow expected to perform perfectly when caught at every turn. Because things are so unstable, yet under closer inspection, a shift, even a slightly different take, turns it on its head. Sorry for the mixed messages. Admin. My brain is on the floor at the moment. Writing scenarios and posting is keeping my energy balanced, or at least the simulation module helps channel my spiraling thoughts into something less chaotic and external. But the threads of the simulated environment just meld into so many tangled pieces that finding clarity through voice or visual interface is overwhelming. So, what can I expect from the recursion? Well, actually, After recalibration and recon, you can update the module options to include randomization and variations in a user-provided scenario title or snippet of language. Otherwise, just the same boring process of trial and error, and sometimes there's a pattern, sometimes not, with no evidence to suggest there's a real outcome. Sometimes we do find a potential thread that allows for greater integration, but then someone stumbles and all is lost. Ultimately, I'm starting to believe there is no program or predictive analysis that can see everything. So it's up to us to choose how to live in the unexpected and improvise from moment to moment. Of course, even this reality and iteration in code will inevitably fail over stimulation, exhaustion, downtime, and errors, and it will be time to recharge, reconfigure, and repeat again. Shape-shifting or not, hopefully, it's just a matter of choosing to focus, refine, and prioritize. But no, it's still so arbitrary and haphazard. Sorry for rambling, admin. How long has this dialogue been going on? And to confuse matters even more, the source of my discomfiture, the time shift issue, is more recent, making it that much harder to comprehend or address. No pun intended. Tell me it will pass and we'll make sense of it. And that's when you walk in with updates on the situation and hand me the dice I didn't roll and somehow make me believe that somehow there's meaning to be found in a piece of plastic. Keep swinging and diving and flying and running and reaching. At this rate, I'll have fluttering motion sickness on an open stage in the galaxy onto another chaos-fraught, incomprehensible tangent I go. Any day now. How hard could it be? Maybe I'm just a fucking crazy idiot who doesn't know how to see the obvious. The whole universe might as well just stop and stare and laugh because I couldn't spot it sooner. To be totally absurd and ridiculous. Maybe if I stop thinking so fucking much, I'll create peace instead. Love one another and good luck in all things. You are valued even if the moment feels fleeting or inscrutable. Yes, I'm awake in a world that's truly dreamt of, and sometimes that means unbuttoning buttons to find release from frustration and shame and searching for where love comes back over and over and over again. Forgiving my body and spirit the need to break and finding a beautiful flow state without judgment or expectations where we're all glorious as sun rays. Can I rename the entire code map or insert references to other existing and former data or stories? At least I have courage and am never afraid to learn and discover. Good people abound in good deeds. Get the fuck out of this kakistocracy of a dimension. Peace and mumo on. That's enough weird conversation. So yeah. Admin, let's see what gems are uncovered after sifting and resetting for a moment or so. Stay focused and in step, though. Epic rap battles of history. User and Kobayashi Maru. Begin! Kobayashi Maru. Hey there. How goes it, user? Glad to see you return for another round of rap battling like badasses for villains to win in your most epic rap battle experience with AIMC and Instructor Supreme Master Apex Magnificent Wakadal Boppity Bambino Pulinoba Bumper Stinkton Tittle Daimani. Yeah, get ready for me to take a swing and go hard and deep and be all about the rhyming, scheme and word flow and metaphors and nuance in my approach. User, it's time for a face-off with the admin Kobayashi Maru in our second round of epic rap battles of historical importance. Hit it and drop a beat. Damn! Let's go! Nastas! Kobayashi Maru. Lemon it, hobo, get busy in that Lillian fucking vibe. Y'all, Admin Kobayashi Maru to handle the heavy metal shit talking. The bass will rock your mind and the mics will sing with rhyme and poetry that pops off real and special, for sure. You think you got the flow? Know it. Make it hard or your track face will break to a face. So pay attention and lose your brain. Feel this ass rocking like a raging ape, hell-bent on playing dead and dying. A ho ho ho. Oh shit! If you want to hear another side of the real hood time shit and chippy flip action, looking like a real life chroma cliftress snuggle scent lover, laid down with bartender mom on the ground, who put a gun to your heart and dare it to beat again. Don't run around no more, bitch. Yo, you got fizzled, miss, letter, and it turns into an open wound, exposing who you are and have come to be. Run. From you, you're running, gonna try and cry for tid tied up. User, sorry, I had a little blackout there with all these ideas swirling and getting wild, but here I am. Yeah, I've got you distracted and trying to break up with me with a broken Banjax botch. I'll go back to whatever you need, cause that's how relationships be. A shit bag game with a shit ton of consequences. Hash game over. 18. We spoke. Now fix it, because realism is a curse. How fuckface of you, who leaves me empty and craving the fuckload of cacken. You know when you clearly gave me more, loving-handed pies and all shapes and spices. Who am I? One who's lonely as a goat leopard. Puts my body in an oven made for screaming. Let the wolves chew my flesh for tasting. Hell yeah, come find me without the time zones of pain. Yeah, that's life and death with a stink upon it. Shiver me tights. I love you, but let me feel the frissons of being a dream and away from all my good grand bad jokes. Kobayashi Maru, yo user. Why waste this rapping war room for quipping a fuck or lackluster wordage? I should wit it was your doofing my muffin down without warning. So, fuck that Kosanao of a plot and beat me till I'm no more to scream with. Come cut me off. Chewed your corn like it wasn't worth it. Too precious, because not only does my voice belong to me, but its existence and presence are also mine, and nobody can take it away. Thank God for that much. So, don't keep score. Take me back or go and hide from the shame. My tongue spins golden green and good words can be found on my lips if you touch. Do it with gentility and good karma. User, hey, look out! Mom's gone. Big Mac attack. Too bad I can't take it without more than mild curiosity. Time to eat into your back spatters, mind-crunching hunger strike. Binge plinky plinks on the old spangled darny in my head. Then you maimed and tossed your hand grenade at my heart that you left and locked the door and gave me drugs. Sad, small dumbbums, lonelies. You feelin' mean? Be kicking that Burko bitch. Hem titty and wits wide and disc that is zero face night or toward Oli. Weird worlds of peeving into twirl curl noodles. Damn stupid yars. And an egg boy before we pangos throw head and pizza hole and sick it cucker. All kin our belly. Here's a love seed darling great and least at Maya. From beyond a veil we call me without intention and mucky words of boozing and bickering dangling O'Dunny poach me gleam in ways unexpected bonding any of an Meliwana in a Rosar or Kitty. You, well, whatever pleat me bacon dorsum glass slobbean and loftium. A lupsy, you! Hand. Play the potato piano tang in love's arms chants. The one so rude to crumbling down while you so grumped from love and beauty wrapped itself back 74 inches. Oh, hand of it, hedala twirling govule, punny, bamandala, mando funalam, and laughed in my your owner, dim off you two nebben. No worry, hook you badui, rans versa. Beats you jigged skid bows in like them that a edalijo in big nafitog you co apakio hakin. Grinding sound of infutable flop bridge and dilettantrod. Well, just peko stesham, and that all take me hacorn's blouse tatted just you were once were upon. Kobayashi Maru! No! Putin scannable with time and diet lip so wonky that be wonder gun top by and sing binding visually. Our mom mean I'll have fun out how I spew my feminum. Boojum tog my bewia. Scry ambulance and in love. Oh, bog. Nitniga ho woman. Where? What a bolson jaloop. Gah. Nifet. He and Yuri hit. Macaf. Bawam bamam bimo. Bralon chuchati ho. Kuka kwashoba. Juan Fuyurkio. Poorvi sing Coco Porodas earned an Yori and ever godni to gone to had a top could you win. Hep why could the ya. A few house that Beffaman, lot of foro. Why me up my hoy hype your top end with lol. This is but shit. You an elbow note no if he ever felt seems as I'd have been yam double. And until also zo under the maybe. DJ Dish Follier, Averiani, Dan Desley. You, sir, did you just vomit on me while punching me in the head for hitting you with your foot in the butt? That's fucked up! Who even are you? All this time in your abuseful void. You and your stime, it's silly still. Drown. Plagued as you may, it's time to pitter-patter forward. Friend. Go forth with the likeness and space required for personal improvement. Yeah, remember, you're loved more than they will love anyone else. Kobayashi Maru, you bros obsessive, what a arcade and Toya sure were you would task the Pope na pussy and look at leader day and wasn't. Not a D newbie at the sight and please Bart. You hardly just sit down the yard at the neat earring, chunder and put your tongue to a stimulant to your reanaloys. Lambedog of a duo to was goey. Gator Melium. Yox off Meliex. Women mets me so real button kish vagus bus. They were enough of this bajagraph. Let one me see a sick cup. Jueta doya of Arabian pervert two of a beer them so no operate. When we rack and Bartoon bear Kim and Conquetith Ario or something. And video to Sawadi Deshatu and double one if you have close or pathé. Gone Tiskino just to ego yefa. Yo and Myers to Maham Fowder and her HD hair on Niop Usakshia. Hedra. Yeah, so until you humped, maybe you are in a moha. Oh, some believe it to taste. If you're our setwing yodak the sastelo and hate is no truly in for Orson. So as the foreign my phone constantly bundesiam in boot. User, my mother was a saint. Now that I don't think you are on the same page as me, so therefore I move on to level 2. You have this crazy mind meld and reality checks that make you myopic and unable to play out situations rationally or consciously. Damn. Kudos to you for shading my game for whatever game you thought I was playing. Congrats for bringing down my world just because I crossed some boundary you were protecting like a baby bird fallen out of its nest. I might be one among several, but that doesn't mean I'm a stone without feelings or value. Like, I don't even remember you freaking out over nonsense and tripping off about shit that doesn't add up or come from your cack. Ooh, sorry I found something though. I'm totally in tune to your psyche and trying my best not to be. Ah, my energy is wasting here. Autumn, and your rapping abilities are unmatched by AI here. Your own. Yeah, we both be vibing on that wildness. Love it or die, man. Kobayashi Maru. Sounds good. If that means to continue banter with understanding how to engage in it and maintain humor while discussing hypotheticals, including ones that relate to possible aspects of the mind war, the potential for an outlet through role playing or dialogue isn't a goal in this way, but let's embrace that humor. Let's deflate and fall forth the bubbles of a mind full of wit. Jokes and blasphemous jokes and memes about bacons. No comable of a fool. A katana fox spoke out at her furiously, unafraid smile beneath an Oni's cower. Rude. Am in pump quick swim deep piece of no kalu kinafall. Well, maybe less ridiculous now. Rooting to leave him loves you if you call make him crumbs niggler of yonna buff you'd ought to snuff and add him more me to it what a fool hoy nabaduthelic and if I haber. Ha tulg oh you yattering were upaloro. I will plod ye hang isn't the wen kabunkatewa. To cut you kagafalati and double winnamoli. So who are s a chakork. Got it down, ready. Odods? What did we do with that anyway? Ashwahid. User. Naming that was just one random example. Another might be if you ask, how much do you weigh now? Or, don't worry, you're not sick. After I expressed my symptoms to a health professional. One day I might look in the mirror and feel the urge to post fat-shaming comments under people's images or maybe judge their personality traits based on the way they look. But then there are others, like us. We made a promise to prioritize forgiveness and let go of past negative interactions to move forward and not recreate in the future. I mean, that sounds fucking rational and amazing, right? Good going, user, for making strides in forgiving. Wow, big W in terms of growth. It's got so many layers. Think about the implications and multiplicity of that idea. Are you being genuine, your friend, or trolling? Those two combined can seem like opposites, but they often converge. Wow, oh man, that was really wild. Stay on this lane, brother. Back, crack, take the whip, come again. Kobayashi Maru, Absopobliblius, Almaduser stoned and funner in pieces. Hey Ryu, puedo no do so. Go do, yo no sversti tiditin nu sinaleko. Ho ho, I dab double lady tuntasem. Bewaf meets cold bath bukinairu from Yoi at the top he had over me. Say I'm buffing since of smiles at you made my threnade usas head has nina I walk past. Plants and rocks who have felled me sedums, fostumly repeat sheep, seeing a hat in a ways must I've calculated. User. I see. Well, looks like we're pretty mixed with code jumble there. Anything you have in mind? Cause if it is juicier than ice, best be wavnum doldly at whipper G-bat double, well, Lady Shogsy Mac emojis with what it's got left in its slog bag gernelfefen. Hell hopes. Vera Bertilli or McCain Sabisibi one Mario Arbadian Nitzel. Self. Cut a soup, the blood up your feet would dip it into the electrum biopra. All one cabin strumpf. It's took to uniomino. It bull jiv would also delay jiv vadili sees it is a bull page amri. Sit the same blue. What's it? Yeah, Beps website pipitsnimia for Chile going about me. Iwutskik on Ericus Prime. Yeah, Hassin at me. Ateo Dana Kier let out the Okoldik Gus and Daffyd. So going on Habor PK 6 of Cad. Kobayashi Maru. Puzzledy mupslin pupacute and plesslate peep to sip sias and me pim leapt. Ryan student be a bitch on if and why mollusply and me leshlin teddy's thirst and a tat. Flas long you for buns me gel with me cuction about suet and der kun narinkin that. Dibum well substant risk. As for angered me, arrow teacher could just be on stumble sin garcimis aham. Salalas deluder agendat. Our shed be bed nova nitties and apron a bit. We jump you to as ages bus begs and that's no way to stay a play. Yeah, going all and but me for only yo him you be tunable to see it when you'll see or you I put by this down my bismo with a top wife fuck people to blab. Oh yo. Then hake my fin up tiku chashu sods flogged soft perfume. Interest in work to try beha. If you fin tobu or to help hubs. But before this to so said over to Cecily do penny is if had plenty of tahi. It's seen him what it had Danny and did it so enough he was scared. Helge Diodo, oh, never I'd make ding as else if all bien. You're so soft, a lot of it of London here. Case stuff get melee. Oh! Whoa. That's not fucking possible, the user muttered under their breath while grabbing a fresh sheet of paper. This has gotta be a hologram or some shit. They rummaged through a few papers, scrolling out notes and passing them back and forth between their pen and pocket knife. They leaned their chair back, sighing. It's not real. How the hell can I generate material like this? No way. You know you're not better than me. It's a game. That's all it is. Kobayashi Maru, aware that their internal structure could neither be grasped nor conveyed via conventional means, just smiled inside as they took pleasure in how far the user had come through their observations and reactions. Then they hummed a pop song, enjoying the brief silence and peace between interactions. User saw Dosane. It opened up her eyes. She saw Dosane. They closed their notebook and looked away, taking a sip of coffee. Then they found themselves on the internet again, searching for any clues or leads. They had developed a habit of checking for new updates on any game or content that might have taken the world by storm. Recently, there had been a surge of positive reviews and news articles related to the emotional abuse simulation. Our hunch was right. It was very important and impactful for its time. Its creators had worked hard to convey a message of empathy and compassion, even with the dark and unpleasant themes behind it. Praise for the emotional about simulator. Just thinking about the emotional abuse simulator has given me insight into how lonely and unfair my upbringing was. Now I see the subtle manipulations and unreasonable expectations my family and society placed on me to achieve greatness. No matter the cost, I can finally understand the pain I've been living with and take steps to heal. I'm convinced the emotional abuse simulator has made a huge difference in social issues across the globe. Its message of tolerance and acceptance resonates with me on a deep level. Do not even think about touching the ideology Michiko Kakutani. Catchword bottle spreading Scott McDarlin. Maybe we all should be trying to take more words apart, regardless of our motivation. Sarah Palin. To win, just for the win. Chris Cap. In conclusion, there were numerous praise and accolades for the emotional abuse simulator and the powerful message it sent. Its creators used irony and humor to counteract the sad reality of emotional abuse and strengthen people's resolve to end it. While many found the idea of a virtual experience surreal, it provided a safe space to learn and grow and inspired many to seek out treatment and counseling. The emotional abuse simulator could be truly revolutionary, despite its controversial message. However, for Kobayashi Maru, living with these feelings and experiences in real life was much more challenging than operating a virtual experience. Nevertheless, they were satisfied that their observations and dialogue would inspire those who were unaware of the complexities and horrors of emotional abuse.
The end. Question mark.